Welcome everyone to Bonifabcustom. I'm Rob, and today we're going to be making the best, I think it's the best, Anvil stand. Now I have Nestor here from West Lincoln Barn Board, and he's going to help us burn and brush this piece of wood. Now Nestor, what kind of wood is this first to begin with?
It's Douglas fir.
Douglas fir, okay. And we have a piece, and it's a reclaimed piece of wood. And it's about 12 by 12, and I think it's about 30 inches tall.
Correct.
So we're gonna take this piece, and the first thing to do of the build is we're gonna, like I said before, burn and brush it. So we're gonna take it outside to burn it, and Nestor's gonna show us how to do that. So we're outside, or else the whole shop is gonna get smoked, and we're gonna start burning. Nestor's gonna start burning. Okay, so now that it's burned, we're gonna use this power brush, Nestor? Yeah? And we're gonna, what are we doing to it? We're gonna
brush off all the char basically.
Okay.
And see what we get underneath.
Perfect.
Each piece is different.
Perfect, let's do it.
So I'm actually gonna put my mask on, which
Yeah.
I handily have for the virus, but we'll use it for dust.
Yeah. Wow, that looks really great, Nestor. Right after the power brush, wow, you can see the grain and everything. It looks super nice. That's gonna really add a lot of character to the anvil stand. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
No problem.
So if you need one of these pieces, contact Nestor at West Lincoln Barn Board. Thank you, Nestor.
Thank you.
So now we have this beautiful beam, all burnt and brushed. And the first thing I want to do is I want to make it mobile. So I'm going to start working on the bottom part of this anvil stand. And the difference between other anvil stands and the ones that I make is that they are mobile. So I have a couple of wheels, casters that I'm going to put on. I have to make some framework so it gets held on there. And I'll show you just how I get it to stay on the wood without moving. Okay, so the way I'm doing this is I measured up the beam or the wood that I'm using for the anvil stand, and I got 11 3/4 width. So I'm going to measure on my bender here. I want the inside of this strapping to be 11 7/8, just to play it safe. So 11 7/8, and I'll tighten that up. And I'll give it a bend at 90 degrees. And again, 11 7/8 on the inside. 11 7/8. So now we're going to bend the part that holds the wheels. And this is a piece of hex bar. I have hex bar, like I mentioned. And I'm going to bend this. This is 18 inches long, and I'm going to bend it 4 inches, 90 degrees from each side. Now, I have to remember, you have to put the wheels in because you can't put the wheels in after you bend this to a 90-degree angle. So I'm going to put the first bend in. And I'm going to have to adjust this. And I'm going to bend this at 90 degrees where my mark is. 90 there. And then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to put the wheels in to the axle here. And then I'm going to put this back into the bender. And the hex bar is nice because it's always going to, if you're holding it by the flats, it's always going to make that other side. If you're trying to match up 90-degree angles, it's really easy because you just go to the flat and it's done. Okay, so now I have the wheels in there, the axle, and now I can start mounting. So what I do after I mount this first frame here, we're going to have 3 frames on here. I'm going to take my shoeing nails, and they're horseshoe nails, and these ones here I use because the head is so big and they are not coated. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to nail them right inside here, just above the steel frame, and then I'm going to weld it right to the head. So now they are in there, and I'm going to weld the head to that frame that I made, and I'm just going to MIG weld it. So now I have the bottom plate fastened on, and I'm going to start putting on the wheels and this axle. And the way that I do that is I want to have this little spacer underneath, about 1/4 inch, so I know that those wheels aren't going to be touching the floor when this is sitting down. So I'm going to put them like that, and I'm just going to line it up, center them onto that bottom plate, and then weld them together. So now that I have the wheels on, that's mounted, we're going to mount the second brace. It's going to go right in the middle, and that brace is actually going to have some arms that go all the way supporting the wheels and keeping the wheels from sliding in and out. So let's measure that up, and then we're going to put our shoeing nails inside there first. Okay, so I got all the shoeing nails in, and now I'm just going to slip over the other frame, and it's just going to stop right where those nails are. And if they're a little bit out, we'll just hammer them in place. I'm going to put some clamps on that and then weld it right to those nails again. So now I'm going to brace the axle for the wheels onto the center. So we put 2 braces, one here and one here, and I cut them 14¼ inches. And I'm putting them close to the wheel so the wheel doesn't move towards the inside, so it stays between this angle and the support. Bottom piece supported, it's nailed into the wood, then welded. It's really strong like that. I'm going to start putting on the top brace. Now, same thing, I'm going to nail in those nails first, because I know the top brace has to be just below the top of this wood, and then I can weld that brace on and then start putting some bracing on and mounting my anvil. So I got the stand on the floor and it is mobile. Now what I want to do is put a handle here so I can just easily tilt it down and move it around. And I'm going to probably add a couple of brackets so I can hold hammers and stuff like that on the side. And I'll do that first before I start working on how the anvil is going to be mounted. This is the anvil I'm going to be putting on, and it's just a drop forged steel anvil. I'm just going to kind of line it up in the center here. And you can see this type of anvil has no holes in it, so you can't bolt it down or anything, but you wouldn't want to anyways. The key is to have this still be able to move a little bit, or not really bounce a little bit, but have it mounted in a way that the wood can absorb the shock from hitting the anvil. You definitely don't want it solid mounted or mounted on something steel to the floor, because it just there's a lot of shock that goes into that anvil when you're hammering or forging on it. So I'm going to make some brackets for this just to hold this in place so it doesn't fall off. I'm going to make some brackets that are going to be welded from the side. They're going to come up, they're going to go along the anvil on the front here, and then back down on both sides. And this is going to stop it from moving up and down too much and from front to back. Then from those brackets, I'm going to weld 2 side brackets onto that, and that's going to stop it from moving side to side, and that should hold that anvil securely enough to forge all you want on it. So let's make some brackets up and weld it all together. Okay, so for the brackets, I have this 20-inch, half-inch rod, and I'm going to bend 2 90-degree angles on both sides, about 4 inches from the end. So I'm going to put it into my bender, snug it up a little bit, measure 4 inches, tighten it, and bend to the stop. Inches. Make sure that it's somewhat 90 degrees to the other side, and bend. They fit nicely, nice and snug, and they're going to go somewhat like that, and they're going to be holding the anvil from moving front to back and up and down. And then I'm going to weld on 2 more 1/2-inch rods connecting those against that anvil, and that's what's going to hold it from moving side to side. So let's weld this all up. It's all complete. Now you can put a little bit of paint on it. I paint it up. Probably just leave it like that also, because it's going to get quite a bit of abuse. And you could see how well that works. It still can move, but it is secure. It's not going to jump out at. Perfect. So we have the anvil stand all complete. It looks really nice, strong. I've been using this type of stand for many years, and I know they work really well. But I am going to be offering this as a kit. If you need a quote on a kit for your own Anvil or Anvil stand, reach out to me at bonifabcustom@gmail.com. Thanks again for watching, and thanks for all your support. Don't forget to push that button for notifications for more fabrication videos coming up.